Hey guys, look at this buttery, golden and flaky inside. A rich, juicy beef filling that will literally make you forget every meat pie you've ever had. Today, I'll be showing you my foolproof meat pie recipe, the same one that gets people asking me for more before they finish the first bite. This is our ingredients. So, ingredients reveal, these are the tools I made use of. We are going to be needing 4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon baking powder, half teaspoon salt, 250 grams of cold butter, 2 large egg, half cup of cold water. For the filling, 500 grams of minced beef, 2 medium-sized potato, Irish potato, peeled and diced, 1 large carrot or some carrots, 1 medium onion finely chopped. You can see me here chopping my onions, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 1 teaspoon of thyme, 1 teaspoon curry powder, 1 seasoning cube, salt and pepper to taste, 1 teaspoon of flour to thicken it, and half cup of beef birds. But I didn't make use of the beef birds, but you can. Here you can see my onions being nicely chopped. So 1 egg is going to be mixed in with the pastry, and 1 egg will be for egg wash. And then there's another secret recipe. There's a secret ingredient in it. So I want you to guess the ingredients. If you're feeling fancy, you can throw in some green peas for a pop of color, totally optional. I added my onion sleeve, you can see. So I'll call it my spring onions. So I added the leaf for the color pop. Here you can see them nicely chopped. And here I have my potato. Nicely chopped as well. You can see me cutting them here. If this is your first time of coming to this channel or watching one of my videos, kindly make sure you like, subscribe, and click the share button if you find the video useful. Here you can see I'm still cutting and chopping my potato nicely. Here you can see me turning it into a neat and clean plate. Here I have my pepper. I love it spicy. It's just to give an extra taste. It's definitely Nigerian meat pie. So here you can see me slicing my pepper into tiny pieces. You can see I made use of just like 3 nice pepper. And here are my 2 eggs. In here we have the carrots. I'm chopping the carrot into cube size. This is the ultimate meat pie tutorial you're ever gonna see. Anyway, it includes the A to Z of a perfect and flaky meat pie. The secret recipes behind big organizations, the secret recipes behind a successful business, it's all in here. So if you can just calm down and watch this video to the end, you would thank me later in the future. Here you can see my carrot is well diced. So the next thing is we're going to prepare our pastry. 4 cups of sieved flour, and then 250 gram of 250 gram of cold butter. I actually had some flour left over for prepping my baking pan and for my filling purpose. So you're still going to see what we're going to make use of it, how we're going to make use of it later on in the video. So the first thing I'm going to do is break my egg. Here is the secret recipes. No, secret ingredients. So anyone to guess what's in this video, what's in this particular, anyone to get what this particular ingredient is? Okay, so it's vinegar. That's the secret ingredient. For you to have it very flaky and well crusted, it's vinegar. Here you can see me adding it to the flour and butter mixture. And here I'm adding some pinch of salt. If you feel like, you can add a bit of nutmeg flavor or cinnamon flavor. Here you can see me starting to mix my dough. So first thing first is whenever we are making this pastry, once we put the flour in a large bowl, we add our baking powder. If you feel like you had your baking powder and add salt, and then we give it a quick mix, and then we just add in our butter, as you can see how I'm doing, and then we gently start to mix. We add in our egg and we gently start to mix. You knead it slowly, and then you add water, cold water preferably. You knead it slowly, then you add just a tiny bit of water, then you knead it slowly, gently. Keep kneading it till you get that perfect dough that you want. You can see this is very, very buttery, and trust me, it's going to be yummy. It will come out so beautiful. So you can see it's coming out neater and better. So you gently knead it. You gently knead it till you get the perfect texture you want. You only add just enough water to bring the dough together, not more than. And if you feel you don't want to use just water, then you can add milk, like cold milk. So you can see my dough coming together nicely. You can see me kneading it. You can see me kneading it. Coming up, it's coming up very nice. I love this. I love it already. So what I'm just going to do is put it in a wrap it up, and then I'm just going to pop it in the fridge for it to chill for like 30 minutes. So while it's chilling in the fridge, I'm going to be making my filling. So this is the process of making my filling. Here I am adding my vegetable oil on heat. And then the first thing I'll be adding is my onion, diced onion. So I heat some vegetable oil in a pan, add my onion and salt until it's soft. You can see me stirring it slightly for it to be well cooked and soft, tender. You can see it's coming up fabulous. And then the next thing I'm going to be adding is my diced carrots. So that's the first thing I'm adding to my onion. So here's my diced carrots. Mind you, before chopping, all my ingredients are well washed. So here you can see me adding the carrots. And I'm adding the carrot first because it's a bit strong. So I like mine a bit tender. So it's going to be well cooked. So here you can see you cook and stir, then Next, I'm going to be adding my beef. So here you can see me adding the beef. In my filling, I'm going to cook the beef until it is tender, well cooked, and no longer color pink. So here I am stirring and cooking the beef, the sauce, the filling, the onion, everything together. So I'm going to cook and make sure the meats are no longer pink. And here you can see me adding a little bit of pepper to the filling just for it to have this nice taste. You can practically see my beef is no longer pink, and then I'm adding my onion, my Irish potatoes, then I cook, stir, I stir fry. Let it cook for about 5 minutes all together. Then here you can see me adding my seasoning cube. Just enough. And here you can see me adding salt for taste. Here you can see me adding a tiny bit of curry. Here you can see me adding a tiny bit of thyme. And here lastly, I'm adding the spring onions. This is such a nice feeling. Very, very nice. And then you make sure it's well steamed. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'll be adding a little bit of water. I'll be adding a little bit, like 2 spoons of flour to a clean water for my filling to come together. So you can see me mixing it, then I add it to the filling. Oh, this looks yummy. Cook for another 10 minutes until the potato are tender and the sauce is thick, but not watery. So you can see the way it is. So you just cook for another 10 minutes until you see your sauce is well cooked and everything has come together. Then you turn off the heat and let it cool completely. This is important. Hot filling will ruin your pastry. So once you've seen your sauce has thickened, your filling has thickened, you make sure you dish it out and let it cool. If it is hot when you're putting it in your pastry, in your dough, it can spoil the pastry. So you make sure it's well cooked. So this is the leftover of the butter we used. So you can see me rubbing the pan. This is the prepping. I had some flour left. I kept some flour left for too. So I do this practically when I'm baking cakes or anything, dough, pastries. I prefer it this way. So I have my baking pan ready. Once I'm done prepping the baking pan, the next thing I'll do is bring out the dough. So I'll go to the fridge and bring out the chilled dough. I'm doing this to make sure my while I'm doing this, my filling is being cooled, and this is the chilled dough. You can see the look is different from when it was. It's the way it was before. So this is time for the fun part. I'll just roll out my dough about like 1/4 inch thick. So I don't want my dough to be too thick. I don't want it to be too tiny. So I'm going to roll it out like just 1/4 inch thick. And I cut them into, this is my filling. You can see the way it is looking so yummy. Even for other dishes apart from just meat pie pastry. Then now the fun part is I cut my dough into circles, like just a bit. But first of all, for my egg wash, I'm going to be breaking the egg. So here I am. In here, you can see me cutting the dough into small circles. And this is the fun part of it. To be honest, you can let your creativity fly here. You can bake a different type of pastries they've never seen, and you can make the usual meat pie shape. I made different shapes, so you go with your choice. You go with the way you feel. I actually freestyle this. There's a meat pie cutter, but I didn't make use of any meat pie cutter. I wanted to let my creativity show, so I made different type of shapes. So you can see me rolling and smoothing out my dough, and then once I'm satisfied with it, I'll add the filling first. Once I'm satisfied with the filling, then I'll do the egg wash round the edge for the tip. This ensures the dough is well closed, no leaking out. In here, you can see me covering it. I would say perfectly. I made sure the dough I cut and rolled is the perfect size of what I want. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. And here you can see me cutting and making the dough size I want. So I'm just going to use my fork to press down the edge round for it to close well. So the egg in the middle is going to be acting as the glue because I don't want my filling popping out when in the oven or hurt. You get. So here's the next one I'm doing. Use another one. Then I trim cut the edges. You just let your creativity fly here. Here you can see. So again, here I am rolling out some dough into the perfect size. The thickness should not be more than a quarter of an inch, more than 1/4 of an inch. You don't want your dough or pastry to be too thick. So here I am adding my filling, brushing the tips, the head, and closing it up. Just like I said, I made different shapes. If this is your first time of coming to my channel again, please kindly make sure you like, click the subscribe button, and share the video if you find it useful or helpful. And if you have any particular preference, tell me what next you want me to bake in the comment section. And if you're not so sure You can also try your filling size by making use of 2 tablespoons of filling. You place 2 tablespoons of filling in the center of the rolled out dough. You fold over to form a half moon and press the edges with a fork to seal. You have to be gentle but firm. And then you transfer them to a lined baking tray. I'm transferring mine to my prepped baking tray. Here you can see the baking tray. You can see the different sizes and shapes that I made. And then I brushed them with egg wash for that gorgeous golden shine. I double brushed them, so you brush and brush till you're satisfied. And another thing is, once I'm done brushing, if it's still not looking glossy enough to my satisfaction, I egg wash it again. And then you preheat your oven at 180 degree for about like some minutes, a few minutes. Just make sure your oven is preheated. It's always better that way. So you can see me egg washing. And I used my fork to create a tangible hole, not white, not visible, barely visible on it. Just two. If you feel like you can do another style, but this is what I feel like. So I made the hole in case of any trapped hair inside. So the trapped hair inside can escape. Well, I doubt it. But it's always better to make the hole. Personally, I just prefer making it this way. And once I'm done, I'm going to take them to the oven and place them in the oven. You can see me egg washing them again. Till you're satisfied. Here you can see the way it is beautiful. So we'll be placing it in the oven for about 25 to 30. Here I'm going to place it into my oven for 25 to 30 minutes till they are well cooked or their smell calls your name. In here you can look at that flaky crust, juicy filling. This is perfection. And you know I'm not going to let you watch without tasting. Just look at that. Let's see what it looks like inside. I'm sure you want to know as well. You can see the buttery. This tastes so buttery, savory, a little sweetness from the carrot. Honestly, once you make this, you will never go back to store-bought. And friends, some dough left, so I decided to make a short cookie out of them. Okay, I had some. And all right, friends, that's my hot meat pie recipe. Perfect for snacks, parties, or selling if you want to make some extra cash. If you love this recipe, like this video, subscribe, and tell me in the comments what should I bake next. Until next time, stay sweet, stay flaky, and keep cooking with love. Bye. See you soon. This is so beautiful, so yummy, flaky, buttery, and trust me, this is a best-selling ultimate recipe. This is the most detailed recipe on the internet I can find now. Trust me, you're going to kill it and you'll love the taste. So give it a try and let me know how it is or how yours comes out in the comment section. Bye. Love you.